Today is July 14th, 2021. My name is Jenna Masahara, and I'll be interviewing Mal Warner for the Coquitlam Heritage Oral History Project. This is a reminder that this interview is being recorded and will be made available to the public. So first, thank you for being here.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. And could you first say what year you were born and where?
1955, and I was born in the Caribbean island of St. Kitts Nevis, and I came to Canada in 1964. Yes.
Could you describe what your childhood home was like?
My childhood home was very loving, very religious, and very enjoyable. I have a lot of childhood memories. It was very comfortable. Yes.
Nice. Did you have siblings?
Yes, I have two siblings. I have a sister, which is younger than me, and a brother who's also the youngest of all three of us.
Oh, so you're the oldest child.
Yes, I'm the eldest one.
Nice. And does it you lived with your parents as well?
Yes, I lived with my parents and my grandparents. What happened is in the Caribbean, education is quite one of those things that every family strives for. So my mom and dad went off to London to further the education. For a while, I lived with my grandparents while they were continuing the education in London. My dad was a lawyer, and my mother, she was just a homebody, but she had to be with her husband. So they lived in London for a while to finish their education. Yes.
Wow. What did they study? Do you know?
What
did they study?
Law. My dad was a lawyer.
Oh.
Yes, so he was into the law world, and as I said, my mom was more or less like a socialite.
What school did your father go to? What school did your father go to?
To be honest, I don't remember. I don't remember right off the back of my head.
And while I have the floor, may I ask your sister and brother's names?
My sister's name is Julie Warner, and my brother's name is Stuart Warner.
Sorry, what was his name?
Stuart.
Stuart.
Yes.
Do they live in St. Kitts or are they elsewhere?
They live here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yes. My sister lives in the United States, and my brother lives here in Surrey.
Oh.
Yes.
And can I get your parents' names?
But,
Your parents' names?
Lorna Warner and Shefton Warner.
Shefton?
Shefton Warner.
Thank you. And do you have your grandparents' names?
Yes. Christabel O'Flaherty, Oflatheherty, and Henderson O'Flaherty, Henderson Flaherty.
Thank you.
Nice. So you went to, did you go to school? Oh, sorry, you went to school growing up?
Yes, I went to school growing up. As I said, I left the Caribbean when I was quite young, and came here to, actually I went to Alberta first, and then Alberta was a little too cold for my parents, so they had the opportunity here to come to British Columbia, and then we moved to Vancouver, and that's where I did most of my schooling from, I think, grade 10 to university.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah.
What year did you move to BC?
1964.
1964. Okay.
Yes. So I was quite young. So my schooling started in BC here, at Eric Hamber High School, and then I went on to Langara College, and then I furthered my education at University of British Columbia as a chemical engineer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
So then, how did you switch over to music then?
Actually, the music part came in when I started at Langara College, where I was on the Students' Council there, and I was part of the entertainment world there. So we used to do a lot of Friday and Saturday night dance parties, which I helped organized, and actually I liked the feel of it at that time. I really liked the feel of it. I helped organize it, and went off to Langara College, did the same thing there on the Students' Council, did a lot of the entertainment world, bringing a lot of bands, and did a lot of outdoor concerts at the college in the summer, and I liked it. And then where the entertainment world grabbed me is the fact that I got an opportunity to work at one of the nightclubs in Vancouver as a busboy growing up, at a place called Old Ken Harry's in Vancouver, and I saw how the entertainment world worked, and I got into it. I got into it considerably there, and I got the bug. I saw how the book bands, I saw how the promotion world worked, and it paid for my university. That's how I paid my way through university, through working at night and going to school at day. It's a lot of work, but it paid off.
Wow.
So I really enjoyed it, yes. Getting back to the entertainment world that you just asked about is the fact that while working at the nightclub in Old Ken Harry's, I saw how they booked bands. And then I asked the owner at the time, his name was Danny Basida, if I could work with one of the promoters there to see exactly how they brought bands and booked bands and brought it together for a successful show. So I had people like Bob Burrows, who I work with, Bruce Allens of the world at that time in the entertainment world. I saw how they booked bands and brought bands into Vancouver, and I got a taste of it, and they let me book a few bands, and that did it for me. It was exciting to see where it starts and you see the end product success, and that's how I started, and I got into the entertainment world.
So then, do you ever go back to engineering or explore that?
That's coming up off. Where I found that out is that the engineering world is working in the nightclub at night, going to school at day. The nightclub couldn't pay me when I moved out of my parents' house and couldn't pay the rent. Bottom line. So I had to go and get a job. I got an apprentice job with the Canadian Grain Commission as a chemical assistant. And I did my internship with them for, I think it's a year or a year and a half. And then a job position came open in the federal government as a chemical engineer. And as a chemical engineer, and I applied for it. And I didn't think I'd have got the job, to be honest. But 3 days later, I got a registered mail and said, hey, the job is yours. If you would like to accept it, we have a position here for you. Sure enough, I accepted it, and everything else was history. I worked with the Grain Commission for 28 years, and then I enjoyed every minute of it. Came right up the ranks as a chief chemical engineer, and I'm happy I did. I would never do it over again, but I enjoyed it so much. Do it totally over again. I enjoyed it so much.
Nice. So you're kind of doing the two, music and the engineering the same, side by side. Were you doing the music and the engineering side by side, or is it more?
Yes, I did. The engineering, how it works is the fact that the engineering part of it is I work from 7 o'clock until 2 o'clock every day, and most of our jobs are on assignment, and they gave us enough time to finish our assignment. So by 2 o'clock I'm done. I got home at 3. Then I got into the entertainment world. I phoned different booking agents, promoters all over the world between the hours of, I would say, 3 and 7 o'clock Vancouver time, because you're catching them on the time difference in New York and different places. Or else I'll get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start my day calling booking agents, returning their calls and stuff like that. And then by 6:30, I'm gone to do the government work. Yes. So it's one of those things which I enjoy doing, and I like working. So I really enjoyed putting it together. Yes. And that's really how my entertainment world came in. Yeah.
And so at what point did you start Mellow Productions?
Well, Mellow Productions started, before Mellow Productions started, I used to call my company, when I was still at UBC, Caribbean Productions. We did one concert in Vancouver, which I was very nervous about. And we did it at a hotel in Vancouver called the Devonshire Hotel in those days. It was right across from the Arts Gallery before the build-up. It was next to the Georgian Hotel at that time. And I had an opportunity to bring in a Caribbean band. Well, it was so successful. It was so successful. We were initially wanted to do it for one night, but we ended up doing it 2 nights. That's how successful it is. And people wanted more of it. We heard it. We heard it from the phone calls we got and the comments we got. We heard it. And I thought, well, a lot of people go to the Caribbean. They go on cruises. They go to Sandals. They go to they hear all the tropical music. They love that stuff. So I said, why don't I do it again? I did it a following year. And then I did it for 2 years, and about 2 or 3 concerts a year, and that's about it. And then they were very successful. They were very, very successful. And then a friend of mine came and said, now, why don't you expand yourself instead of being specialized in one group of music? So I decided, well, I got to do everything, change the names and stuff like that. So I changed it over to Mellow Productions. And then I started doing, besides Caribbean bands, I started doing Latin bands, I started doing African bands, and then I got into the, the R&B stuff, rhythm and blues and stuff, and everything else is history after that. The rhythm and blues we did like Natalie Cole, Lionel Richie, and a few other R&B bands, and in the Caribbean world we did like Ziggy Marley, the Jimmy Cliff, the Shaggies, the Toots and the Maytals, and a couple Latin bands and a couple African, so everything else after that is a lot of history.
Do you remember the name of the first band that you booked that was at the Devonshire Hotel?
At the Devonshire Hotel, the band is called Ellie Matt, and the GI Brass Band.
And the GI
Brass Band. Actually, they were from my hometown of St. Kitts, and they were on tour across Canada.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got connected to them. Somebody called me and just brought it to my attention.
What year did you begin Mellow Productions?
I started Mellow Productions in 1977, 78. Yes.
Did you ever book Yellow Man?
Huh?
Did you ever book Yellow Man?
Yes. Yes. Yellow Man, we have booked Yellow Man about 4 times. Yes. Very good.
How did you manage to get a big set, because you said it was very successful? How do you think? What was the draw? Do you think?
My draw was it was a specialized type of music. People don't hear it every day. It's like You hear the commercial radio station, you hear the top 40, the hip hops, the rhythm and blues, you hear commercial. This is something specialized. This is like tropical music where people went away and they came back and said, hey, we hear the song, I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Here it is. Let's go out and see. They hear some Bob Marley on in the resorts and the all-inclusive places in the Caribbean like Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Kitts and Nevis. They hear all this reggae music. Well, reggae music is coming to Vancouver. Let's go check it out. And that's what it is. It's kind of, as I said, it's a specialized type of music. And I found that not only so many people from the black community, but the majority of people who would come to these things are actually Canadians. And that was a success. Yeah.
Do you have a concert booking that's like very special in your mind or something like that?
So that again?
Like a very fond memory or like a big success moment?
Oh, big success moments, yes. I had a success moment with one of the bands who used to come here is Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. And Byron Lee, we did it for almost 14 or 15 years. Every year it was a stable summer event at the Commodore Ballroom. And that was very successful. For almost 14, 15 years, it sold out every year. The other successful one we have had is Shaggy. We had Shaggy at the Commodore Ballroom, and then we did an outdoor concert with Shaggy at Plaza of Nations, and that was a huge success. So those were two of the ones was in the entertainment world was stood out in my mind.
Do you have any sort of failures or negative in your?
Yeah, we had some failures in the early years. One of the reasons we had failures is I ran into some issues where mainstream media was not open to the concept of my type of music. It was looking back at it today, and this is coming from some of the white friends I've got, has told me it was plain racism. In the sense that I couldn't get my product printed or advertised by electronic mail or print media. I couldn't get it done. Then one day I said I will go see one of my mentors. His name was Drew Burns. He used to own the Commodore Ballroom. He's the one who gave me my break into the Commodore Ballroom with my friends from Live Nation. And he sat me down one day and he gave me a reality check. The reality check, he says, now, you got a big problem. And the big problem is, first, you're black. You are going into a world where they only see white. They want to see white artists, they want to see white promoters. He says, you're not the first person this has happened to. I said, explain. He says, you're bringing shows here like Toots and the Maytals, like Ziggy Marley, and the first thing those older white men, older white people see is people smoking marijuana and stuff like that. And they had no concept of what the music was all about. He said, what you need to do, and this is very important, and it stuck with me for many years. He says, what you need to do now, instead of you going in and approaching these people, you have to find a staff of white people to represent you. I decided and I thought about it, and it made a lot of sense. I got a crew of people, my publicity person, my advertising person, and general staff person. They're all white. They've been still with me for almost 15, 20 years now. And they went ahead and approached the same people I approached to get some advertising for my big show. This was Ziggy Marley coming to Vancouver. My big show. I couldn't get it done. They went, they sat with the same people, they gave this more or less the same pitch, and they got it done. They got it done.
How did you feel about that?
Huh?
How did you feel about that?
I felt at the time, damn, yes. Today, after looking at the whole concept and after I had a post-mortem with my crew, I was a little pissed. Excuse the language, I was a little annoyed.
Imagine.
I was annoyed that as a professional person, like all the other professional promoters in this town, which I was the only black promoter in this town, I still is at this time, to that level, I couldn't break through to get any advertising or promotional done for my upcoming shows. I had to use somebody of their own color and their own way of looking at things to break through. Although those persons who did represent me at the time, we got a big spread in the Vancouver Province and Sun. We got advertising on CKNW, Joey Metcalf, I remember. We got Rick Honey in those days, advertised my stuff. I had people reaching out to these people, not me, but they work for me, wanted to get more information. And with that said, I felt a kind of joy because the show was successful. The bottom line, regardless of how you got there, at the end of it, it's all success. But it's how I had to go about it to reach that successful area.
There must have been considerable tongue biting on your part.
It was very tongue biting. I think, as I said, my crew is the ones who kept me in check. As I said, I have a crew of about, a day of show about 30 people, but I have about 6 main people who work for me for the last 15 to 20 years, and they keep me in check, and they would represent me for anything regarding Miller Productions. I sit in the background and let them do all the work. I decided, well, if that's the way it's going to be, in the sense that I can't get through and they could get through, I let them do all the work and I will sit back. Give you another scenario. I went to a big function. I don't usually go to these functions, but I went to a huge entertainment function in Vancouver, regarding Ticketmaster. And my crew was there. And people, I think they had about 600 or 700 people. And everybody, was asking, communicating with my crew, oh, how is Mellow Production doing? So you guys are doing wonderful. Just small talk. And then one, I wouldn't call his name, very good, well-known person in the entertainment world said, so, Mrs. Mellow Production, how you guys been? You guys are surviving? And she had to stop him right there and said, I am not Mellow Production. That is Mellow Production. And he was blown away with the fact that these 4 white women work for this black man as metal production.
Have you seen an improvement in that attitude over the years?
There is a big improvement, but this improvement is from the new breed, the younger generation who has grown up now, who accept a person not by the color of their skin, but who they are. And I've seen it more and more, because I went to a meeting a couple of weeks ago and I sat in and certain doors I wouldn't have been able to open, it's opening. Although the fact that I don't do as much of that, I've got people now, as I say, who've been working with me as my promotional person, my advertising person, they still do it. And I sit back and I just sit in the background while they do all the footwork for me. So, yes, I've seen big improvements in that area. I've seen big improvements in that area. Yes. And as I said, big up to the younger generation who does not embrace the same ideologies or the same type of arrogance of people of the past. Yeah.
Do you also have the same, was there also like similar challenges with your engineering career?
Engineering?
Yeah.
No, engineering was different. I only had one incident with the engineering situation with the great guys. When I got the position, an older person said, "Gee, look at you, all your immigrants, they all came here and taking the jobs away from, the people who were born here and stuff like that." But at that time, I just blew him off and said, if your kid wasn't pissing it against the wall every day and going to school and studied, he'd probably be in the same position as I am. I hope my accent didn't break. I just heard my accent went over quite arrogant there. But yes, that's the only time I've seen somebody who have approached me aggressively because I got a position over his son. And that's about it, yeah. But besides that, no, I had a great team working with the Grain Commission. It was a joy to work with the Grain Commission. I had a great team. I had great bosses. I had people like one of my boss' favorite boss was Debbie Pankerich and Randy Dennis, who embraced. They knew exactly what my world was. They knew I was in the entertainment world, and they knew I was in the engineering world. As long as both professions didn't collide, they were happy with it. As long as I did my work, and I said I did, and I was good at what I do, they were fine with it. So, yeah.
Well, how has COVID affected
the business?
Yeah, your business.
The COVID has stopped us cold in our tracks. We were the first businesses to close down, and we're going to be the last businesses to open. The entertainment world has closed down considerably. The entertainment world has, as I say, has come to a stop sign. Nothing is going on. So right now, it's just getting ready for the government to give us a green light to get back into what we do best. Yeah. There's nothing happening in the entertainment world.
Right.
Nothing.
Okay, so there's no future bookings?
Future bookings, there's a lot of future bookings. There's lots of future bookings. But right now, we cannot do anything until Dr. Barney says, yes, we could move forward. Yes, this is a capacity you could have. Yes, these are the protocols, and we have to put them in place to make everybody safe and comfortable. Yes.
How have you been able to keep on most of your staff?
Yes, we have been able to keep on a lot of our staff. The good thing about it is also a lot of the staff has got other jobs. So my entertainment world is like a part-time job for them. We get together on more or less the weekends and strategize and map out what we have got coming up. They report back to me. With technology now, we could do a lot of our meetings like in the evening via Zoom. We could do our meetings at the Hilton Hotel or something. We go into the meeting room and we have our round table meetings. So we try to get together at least once or twice a week, regarding what we have coming up and what we have to do to make a show successful. Yeah. So we have things all together. Yeah.
Do you have like a show that you know you're going to bring back? Like once you like the first show, do you know?
Bring back?
Or like when your COVID is like restrictions are open, do you like have envision or do you already know what your plan for the first couple shows?
Yeah, we have a couple shows lined up to bring to Vancouver. Potentially when the border is open. Prefer not to say at the moment because of the competition out there. And but yeah, we have a few shows lined up. Before COVID hit, we had to cancel about 7 or 8 different concerts here at the Commodore Ballroom and at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. We also had to cancel our boat cruises. We do about 3 boat cruises a year in Vancouver, where we have tropical boat cruises on the waters of Vancouver. It's like a nightclub on Vancouver, you know, in the harbor areas. We go for about 3 to 4 hours, and everybody party and have a great time. We had to cancel a big New Year's Eve event at the Hilton Hotel, which is one of the, I was told, and people have been telling me that it's one of the top New Year's Eve events because we put a lot into it to make sure everybody have a great time at the Hilton Hotel Metrotown. It's a formal affair, and I think for lots of people, they just want to dress up and look pretty and have a great time every New Year's Eve. We have done that for the last 15, 20 years old, yeah, and it's every year has sold out. So that's one of the things we're looking forward to getting back doing this year if everything goes well. Right now, we won't be doing any concerts until the government give us the green light. And for me, in my head, I won't be starting until New Year's Eve. I want to get things right. I want to make sure everything is perfect. So my projection is that New Year's Eve, that's when we're going to kick off things and go into 2022 with a bang. So that's how we look at it.
Have you ever booked acts or entertainment for any of the Caribbean festivals?
Caribbean Festival? Yeah, I used to be part of the Caribbean Festival in North Vancouver for many years. But because of my schedule and so much work I had doing at that time, holding down the government job and holding down Mellow Productions, I couldn't commit to them the way I like to. But I do advise them on a yearly basis what they should do and how they should go about making Caribbean Days exciting and making Caribbean Days successful. Speaking about Caribbean Days, I will let you know this. As living in Coquitlam, Caribbean Days might be coming to Coquitlam. It might be coming to Lafarge Park. It's in the works at the moment, and we have outgrown North Vancouver. we have outgoing North Vancouver, and I suggested it to the new governing body for Caribbean Days here, and they have approached the city of Coquitlam, and they seem very interested. So you guys got a tip on that. Yeah.
Speaking of that park, oh, I'll tell you that after.
Yes. Okay. So in North Vancouver, Caribbean Days drew 2 days about between 30 and 35,000 people, and it's a lot of fun. And with transit right up at Lafarge Park, it's going to be an exciting time if it does go through. That Coquitlam has accepted the presentation from the people from Caribbean Days to have it at Lafarge Park. Yeah. I think, me personally, I think it's close to home, and I think a lot of people from all walks of life will enjoy it up there. So, yeah.
Have you noticed a change in like Caribbean music throughout the years that you've been working?
Yes, change. You know, Caribbean music's changed from generation to generation. In the old days, they used to call it calypso music. Then it's changed to calypso is now a little bit of soul and hip hop and dance all mixed together. So they call it soca music. And now this younger generation has it mixed with a little bit of Afrobeat and the same traditional calypso and soca. So it's a blend of music, just like the Caribbean. Caribbean is a blend of music of different cultures, different people from different walks of life. So is the music. Reggae music is the same thing. Reggae music is a blend of ska, traditional reggae music, mento, and dancehall music. So dancehall music is where hip hop came from. It's a blend of hip hop. So they blend it all together, and that's the new generation of music for dancehall out of Jamaica. But it still has the traditional Bob Marley's type of music, the reggae music, the Jimmy Cliff, the Toots and the Maytals, that older generation. That music is still there. But the new blend of music coming out of Jamaica is mostly for that younger generation. It's called dancehall. Yeah.
Do you play music yourself?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, I prefer to say I promote the culture, but I don't play no instruments. I should have when I had the opportunity as a child, but I think I just gave it up, you know. So, yeah.
So, like, on your website, you mentioned that you have like a radio.
Yes. That's another thing. Besides promoting music, besides working for the federal government, I give back to the community. I have a radio show on Vancouver Cooperative Radio, a multicultural radio station, every Saturday from 8:30 until 11, where we do a blend of different types of Caribbean music from all over the world. Not only Caribbean, but I should say also because we have like Latin music is part of the Caribbean also. So people from Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Latin side, and then the reggae side, and the calypso side, and the zouk type of music, the Afro zouk type of music, which comes out of Haiti and those places. I do that show every Saturday on Vancouver Co-op Radio between 8:30 and 11, and the show is called Caribbean Sounds. Yes, so that's where I give back to my community, because a lot of people who come here, they hear all other types of music. Some people would like to hear their own cultural music, and that's the beauty of British Columbia. We just have different cultures here, and we like to give back to our own people a little sound of the islands. So.
Do you do that as a volunteer then?
Yes, a volunteer at Vancouver Cooperative Radio, yes. We have different different shows at Coop Radio. We have the Portuguese show, the Latin show, all different races at Coop Radio. And I got the opportunity years ago to bring our cultural music to the forum of the radio station.
What is the radio call numbers?
100.5 FM, CFRO, 100.5 FM, Vancouver Cooperative Radio. Yeah.
And do you still have the contact, like, from, like, St. Kitts? Do you still, like, have contact with people?
Yeah, I have contacts with people there. I have a few cousins and stuff there. I try to go back there quite frequently. I try to go back there every year. I haven't been back there for the last couple of years. I've been doing a lot of traveling to different Caribbean islands, like Jamaica, Trinidad, and I will go back into St. Kitts because St. Kitts, I don't have any of the kids I grew up with have all left and they've gone. So it's just the younger, which they know me as their cousin, but they really don't know me. So yeah, I go back and visit. And plus, sometimes I like to go back and see where I came from and where I'm at today. Yeah. So it's like going back and seeing the roots, seeing where it all started. And yeah, I enjoy that tremendously.
Did you grow up in the country or in town?
I grew up in the town. Yes.
What is the name of the town?
Bastia, Bassettire, something like that. And in Nevis, it's called Charlestown, Charlstown, Charlestown, Nevis. Yeah. So.
As a kid, what do you do for fun in St. Kitts?
Actually, what I do for fun is I run marathons. I train for marathons. Let me
That's not fun.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. I used to until the other day I fell and I wrecked my ankle very badly trying to keep up with some of the people in the younger generation. I like running. I like working out. For me, mentally, it's great. I could focus better when I go for a run in the early mornings or go to the gym early mornings. I do a lot of that. Also, I like to read. Interesting books, and that's what I do. I like to watch TV too.
Do you prefer fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction. The fiction, So that's where I don't read as much as I like to because all my reading in the last little while is a whole lot of contracts. So that's where I enjoy. But my downtime, I try to make time for myself at least one day a week on Sundays where I will go with my friends and stuff, go down to Mackin Park and watch the guys play cricket down here.
I've been trying to contact people that play cricket there and I can't.
I know
get
them.
an
I was
answer.
there up to last Sunday.
When do they play?
And Saturdays and Sunday. Sunday is when most everybody comes together. I've been going there for the last, years. For me, it's like an outing where I could see people from my culture. And we sit down and we talk. The guys play dominoes or cards, and we just share information and share political views and share what we used to have and what we haven't got now. So it's like a great gathering on a Sunday down at Mackin Park.
When did you move to Coquitlam?
I moved to Coquitlam in, I think it's the early 80s. the early 80s, 81, between 81 and 85. I'm not quite certain. I moved here, and that's where I bought my first house. I bought my first house right down here on Nelson Street. Beautiful place, and I lived there for 5 years. Then I sold it, and then I built 2 houses in Coquitlam. I bought one on Monastery Road, just off by Dawes Hill there, and then I forgot the other one, just around the corner from it. I built 2 beautiful houses. Actually, the one on Monastery Court was, I think we were the first ones to build in that complex there, and I lived there for must be 8 to 10 years, and then I moved to the other one I built for another 14 years. So I've been in this area for a very long time. I enjoyed. I've seen Coquitlam grew from a whole lot of trees to a beautiful township. I remember when City Hall was across the street, and Marking Park was just a whole lot of trees, and the tennis court was there. That's about it. I remember when this street out here was just 2 roads, one going and one coming, and the gas station on the corner right here. So yeah, I've been around this area for a while, and I love it. I love Coquitlam. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Lived in Vancouver for a while. Vancouver is beautiful, but Coquitlam is my joy, and the people are good, and everything I find very convenient in Coquitlam. Yeah, my son went to school here. He went to the Catholic school up the road here, Lady of
Lourdes?
Lady of Lords, yes. He went to Lady of Lords, yeah, and then he went off to further education, and then he went to London. So yeah.
Nice. Have you got involved with any groups in Coquitlam?
In Coquitlam, yes, I got in groups in the little Caribbean groups here. We all have a special place in Coquitlam, especially the Caribbean community, Marking Park. Marking Park has been a mainstay for Caribbean people for the last 20-something years, where we all go there on a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. Friday is to practice games. Saturday and Sunday is the actual cricket matches down there. So for us, a lot of them go to watch the cricket games. For people like myself, I just go there to just have fun and meet and greet people in the summer. It's just a summer thing that you'll find a lot of people from the Caribbean come to Marking Park just to hang out, greet people, and meet people from their own island or their own culture, and from different walks, you know. So it's been a Sunday mainstay for a lot of the Caribbean men and a few women, mostly men, because the men goes there, they play. If they're not playing cricket, they're playing dominoes, they're playing cards, or they're just social gathering. It's a fun time. It's a lot of laughter and a lot of conversation. So Marking Park is the place for us here.
Would you say that there's a similar gathering place for the ladies?
For?
The ladies?
Ladies, I think mostly.
I guess you're not invited.
Yeah. Ladies, I don't know. I think that would be better handled by information I give you after my interview. Yes. I think that also would be a good thing to know is after the first Caribbean Days Festival when it happens here. Yes. Yes. You'll see all all the different organization and all the different infrastructures from the Caribbean at that festival. So, yeah. So.
You mentioned your son. Like, how did you start your family?
Huh?
How did you start your family?
Oh, I got married years and years ago. My wife, she was a professional. She worked for the federal, the provincial government. She was a nurse, and then she was one of the directors at the Riverview hospital over there. Yeah, she was a director there for years, and then she went over and worked in the government in Victoria. That's where her world is. We had one son, and that was it, and everything else is history.
Is your wife still living?
Living?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's living,
Okay.
but she right now she is in the Caribbean taking care of her mom who's got further illness.
Is she from St. Kitts as well?
Yes, she's from St. Kitts.
Could I get your wife's name, please?
Lord, actually X.
Oh, okay.
Yes, X. Her name is Joan Warner.
Joan?
Yeah, Joan, Joan. Warner, yes.
And your son's name?
Jason, Jason.
And what did he study?
Huh?
What did he study? What did he go to school for?
He went to Lady of Lords.
Did he go to post-secondary or?
I think he did everything through Lady of Lords, and then I think it's Coquitlam High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Centennial?
Centennial, that's the one. Centennial, yes. Yeah, he graduated grade 12 from Centennial.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you go to university?
Huh?
Did you go to university?
He went on to and then went to London. Yes. Yes.
Well, I just want to talk about food. Let's growing up. What sort of food did you eat?
We eat a lot of grown vegetables. In the Caribbean, a lot of people was into their own growing of their own products. A lot of seafood, a lot of fish, lobster. There's a lot of farmers in the Caribbean where they grow their own food. So that was a lot of the type of foods of it. Not as much processed food as I would eat like today. Everything is cooked fresh, everything is done fresh, everything is, as I said, grown, and that's how we grow. A lot of chicken, free range chicken, a lot of free range eggs, nothing chemical or steroids induced. So everything is all done natural. Yeah.
Can you still do you know how to cook those foods yourself?
Yeah, my grandparents taught me. I still do. I enjoy cooking. That's one of my other hobbies. I enjoy cooking. I have some idea of some Caribbean recipes and stuff like that, which I do try occasionally, just for the fun of it. And I will introduce them to a lot of my Canadian friends and stuff, and it's different, so they enjoy it. Yeah. So sometimes a little spicy, and sometimes
Would you be willing to share a recipe for our exhibit?
I'll try. I think I have a cookbook at home.
Okay.
I'll pass it on to you guys.
One of your favorites.
Huh?
One of your favorites.
My favorite is what do you call it? A stew fish. Stew fish is we call it red snapper. And then we stew it down with a lot of onions, tomatoes, and everything, and just steam it, slightly cook it so it doesn't get soggy. Yeah.
Are there Caribbean restaurants around here?
Yeah, there's a couple Caribbean restaurants around here. There's Rihanna's Roti, who specialize in this big roti, like a roti wrap, stuff, which is quite popular in this area. But there's a couple in Vancouver, Calabash, which does a lot of Caribbean food. Rhythm and Spice, which does a lot of Caribbean food. And where you'll see a lot of that is, again, if Caribbean Days come here, you'll see different types of Caribbean foods in Coquitlam. You'll see a lot. When we had it in North Vancouver, there was at least 13 or 14 different Caribbean trucks serving their own ethnic Caribbean food for different islands. Every island has their own little niche of foods, so you'll have a...
What would you say St. Kitts Nevis
Food.
niche was?
I was, it was a lot of seafood. A lot of seafood. The lobsters, the sea snapper, a lot of scallops. St. Kitts is known for the world of seafood. Yeah.
Do you know much about your family history?
Yeah, my family history is a lot of is a blend of a pepper pot. In my family, checking it out, my grandfather is Irish.
Oh, I just read a book about the Irish homeboys that came out to work in Jamaica.
That's right,
So
Irish.
he was one of those.
Yes, he's Irish. His last name was O'Flaherty. Yeah, Irish. On my mother's side, it was part Indian and part Portuguese. Yeah, Indian and part Portuguese, a mixture. Yeah. And that's the history I know of my.
Did they come to St. Kitts or were they born there?
My grandparents were born there. That's generational type of thing. And then my great grandmother, she was a mixture of white and black. Yeah.
Do you have any like heirlooms or stuff passed down to you?
Huh?
Do you have heirlooms or stuff passed down to you?
The only thing I have is when I left the Caribbean, my grandparents are very religious. My grandfather was a minister, my grandmother was a minister. They gave me a Bible, and I still have it. I still have it at home. And they said, whatever you do, keep that Bible with you 24/7. I know you might read it, and I know you mightn't read it, but just keep it as a family treasure, which I will give you.
Would
That's
you be amenable to us taking a photograph of that?
Yes. I will do that.
Are you yourself religious?
Huh?
Are you yourself religious?
I believe, but I'm not a practicing religious person. I believe I strong because it was bred into me. It was my upbringing, and yes, yeah.
What church did your grandparents?
They were Methodist and Baptist Pilgrim Holiness, yes. Yeah.
My grandfather was a Baptist minister as well.
Yeah.
Great grandfather, sorry.
Yes.
And was there a world event that had a particularly big impact on your family?
Which
Just a world events that comes to mind that had an impact on you or your family?
world events? I think world events. When you say world event, like sports, political, or what?
It's well, political, but if there is a sports one that
Sports. One of the big sports in the Caribbean is soccer. Like, for instance, this weekend, you would not find anybody anywhere. It would be a soccer world. Everybody watches soccer. Soccer is a big thing in the Caribbean. Soccer and cricket is a big thing in the Caribbean. And then everything else falls by the wayside. So, yeah.
Are you watching the World Cup right now?
Yes, I'm watching the World Cup. I watch the Euro Cup on Sunday, but I didn't have a favorite there. But when the World Cup starts, I think it's next year.
Oh, I'm mixed up then. It's just the Euro Cup that's on now.
Yeah, Euro Cup versus the World Cup is coming up. That's what everybody is going to be watching to see who wins the World Cup. Yes.
Did you play soccer?
I dabble in it, but I didn't play it to any great extent. I know how to play it. I know all about the game, but laziness.
Too busy running marathons.
That's right. Laziness. Exactly. Yes.
When were you inducted into the BC Entertainment Hall of Fame?
Oh, I didn't remember of that, and that was one of the big highlights for me in the entertainment world. I didn't know about it, to be honest. Is that I got whiffed of it just days before I got inducted. The people in the entertainment world did their research on me. I've got to give it up to an author, an entrepreneur by the name of Aaron Chapman, and the people of Live Nation concerts worldwide. They're the one who put my name forward to be inducted into the Entertainment Hall of Fame. They, as I said, they did my research from day one up to today. And it was nice to see that somebody out there was looking at what I did in the entertainment world and see how I conducted myself and how I ran my company. And also I was glad to see that I never talked about this, but I was glad to see that the board who was selected to approve the inductees into the Entertainment Hall of Fame put my name forward to be an inductee. And I also was glad to see it was people who was in the entertainment world, the body of this board of, I think it's about 30 persons who said, yes, Mel should be inducted into the Entertainment Hall of Fame.
So peers, really.
That was huge. As I said, when you got inducted to the Entertainment Hall of Fame, it's like you got a Grammy. You got the highest reward given to somebody in this profession. And I have not yet had the actual induction. That's the word I'm trying to use. Induction. I haven't had the actual induction ceremony as yet because of COVID-19. When I got inducted, COVID-19 hit. And it stopped everything right there. So when COVID is over, my first big concert at the Commodore Ballroom, I promised the City of Vancouver and the board of the Performance Arts of Vancouver that I will have my big celebration then. When? I don't know. Who would be the big act? I don't know. But it will be sometime in 2022 when actually the actual induction will happen. So it will be done at the Commodore Ballroom. Right now, if you go to the Queen Elizabeth Theatre or the Orpheum Theatre, you'll see my name right up there with Brian Adams, the Bublé's, Celine Dion, and others right there into the Entertainment Hall of Fame. Regarding my star on the streets of Vancouver, we haven't reached that far yet. I think it's going to be up by the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, because I think I'm moving it from Granville Street to the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, where they will be putting my star on, call it, the what do you call it, the Hall of Fame Walk of Stars. So we wait and see what happens. But I'm grateful and thankful for the entertainment world, seeing what I've done and what I've accomplished, and bestowed on me this great honor. Yeah.
That was 2020 that you got it?
Yeah, 2019, 2020, yes. It's just around, yes.
Okay. Like, I mentioned that you like developed unknown artists. On your website, you mentioned like you've developed unknown artists.
Developed?
Or well, you've like booked unknown artists.
Oh, unknown artists, yes. Yeah, I do book some unknown artists. What I do is when you have a big world beat artist come to Vancouver, I've also give the local musicians here an opening spot on them to highlight and showcase their profession, their art. I think is showcasing local artists here with a big name act is one of my biggest things I like to do, because I think there is also artists who are a little rough, but they're diamonds in the fold. You know, they could break out tomorrow and become big artists. So I would like to see myself give local artists a little bit of that showcase of their talent. Yeah.
Do any of the local artists stand out to you at this point?
Which one I have done?
Are any, excuse me, are any local artists standout performers at this point?
Yeah, one artist called Geronimo. He spelled his name differently recently. Boom Daddy. Boom Daddy. And to be honest, I can't think about it right off the top of my head. Yes.
I think that's pretty much all my questions. I'm sure Tana says.
I'll just quickly look through and see if there's something that I missed.
Is there anything that you feel that you want to add?
What I was going to add, thank you very much for having me. It's a joy. And whatever I could do to help the people and the entertainment world in Coquitlam, I'm always open to helping and making Coquitlam grow and be a spotlight in the world of British Columbia.
How is it like entertainment in Coquitlam world? Like,
actually, I'd like to see more entertainment in Coquitlam, but for me, I have not explored, and it's my fault too. I haven't explored the different entertainment venues in Coquitlam. I know, excuse me, I know years and years ago, Blue Mountain Park used to have a lot of entertainment there, but since it's now developed with a lot of residentials there, I think they don't have as much live entertainment like they used to have years and years ago. So, but we have Lafarge Park now, and see what happens, and we hope to see great things happen there. As I said, it's given me another avenue and another place to think about exploring myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jenna asked you about what you do for your leisure time, but did you have any specific games that you remember playing back in St. Kitts when you were really little?
When I was a kid, soccer. Soccer was mostly, soccer was mostly what I would play. And also in St. Kitts, track and field used to be a big thing. And I think that's where I
Which
picked
was?
track and field.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I think I picked up a lot of my running skills. So
Which marathons have you run?
I run Vancouver Marathon and Vancouver Half. I do a lot of 10K. I also was a running coach for the Sun Run for years. Yeah, you know.
And have you ever placed in these marathons?
Huh?
Have you ever
One?
won the race?
No. Marathons is by time. My best time was 3 hours and I think it's 46 minutes. Vancouver Marathon, and but that was years and years ago. Now I just run for fun.
I can barely sit for 3 hours and 46 minutes.
That's a lot of stamina. That's a lot of training. I don't do it anymore. Those are the days when I had more stamina than today.
Hey, yeah, thank you. Goodness, that's it, everything.
Yeah, well, it was a slice. I enjoyed it. Thank you.